What's up guys, Richard Gaming Guy here. So today in this video, we're going to unbox, demo, and review this brand new product that's not yet available for public sale, but it is on Indiegogo where you can actually back this project and receive the product in the end. So this is the product right here. It's the Magic Block MK1 8-inch portable wireless monitor. Now this looks really cool, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest, this was sent to me by the company in exchange for a review. So I typically don't like to do this sort of scenario. And the reason for that is I like to be a paying customer and I like to give you guys review videos based on the experience that I have as a paying customer. So yes, there's some stuff that's sent out to me for free, but I would say 95% of the reviews that I do are reviews of products that I purchased with my own money. So in that experience, I'm going to be, relaying back the authentic experience as a consumer, as opposed to somebody that received a free product and is just kind of combing through it and seeing what they like and don't like. So when I've shelled out money for it, I'm naturally going to be a little bit more invested in it and I'm going to be pickier. So in this case, I want to be super picky with this because I'm going to show you guys the video preview that actually introduces this product to potential backers on Indiegogo, because I think that that video is really awesome. I think that it shows some really tremendous capabilities here, but I want to make sure that they're authentic capabilities. I want to make sure that what they're showing is truly what they're delivering here. So let me show you guys the clip that I saw that made me actually want to accept this and do this review. Let's dive into that video. All right, guys, you can see exactly what I saw now. They're using this with modern day consoles, both a Switch and a current Xbox. It's an Xbox Series S, but still current console from Xbox. And you're seeing no latency. They're showing you the video game being played, live on a screen as well as on this at the same time. And we're seeing that there's no latency here. And I know how hard that is to achieve on modern day consoles. I've used similar monitors like this that transmit the audio and video wirelessly. And usually, especially on modern day consoles, we do see a lot of lag and delay in that experience. So the fact that we're not seeing that here makes me think that one of two things are going on. Either this is an amazing product, and I hope that it is because it looks pretty damn cool. If it's not that though, they're misguiding us and they're showing us something that isn't the true experience here. So I'm going to be super picky. I'm going to actually hook this up. What I would typically do with something like this is I'd first test it out with a retro console or a PC that's playing or emulating a retro video game, because I know that you're going to have less latency on something like that as opposed to modern day games on modern day consoles. But they showed us Nintendo Switch, they showed us Xbox, so we're going to unbox this. We're going to take a look at the layout and design of this product, but then we're going to dive straight into exactly what they did. I want to show you guys what the experience is like gaming remotely on this from a Xbox console. So I have an Xbox Series X. That's what I'm going to hook this up to. I'll show you guys everything that I do here in this video. Let's get started though. All right, guys, let's go ahead and open this up. So here we have our monitor. Now let's take a look at this. 8-inch monitor, definitely looks to be well made. It is all metal. I'm noticing that right off the bat. Let's take a look at the ports up here at the top. So we have a headphone jack right here. We have 5 buttons across. There's absolutely no labeling on here though, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure what any of these actually are, but they do seem to be, high quality buttons. They seem to function just fine, but yeah, I have no idea what they are for. I'm sure we have a manual in here that'll outline exactly what everything is used for. We have a USB port right up here at the top. We have an HDMI port right next to that. And I noticed that we do have channels over here for Joy-Cons to get connected, which is pretty cool that we could bring in Joy-Cons over to this. Now, I don't have any Joy-Cons, so what I have here, I actually picked this up on Amazon. I wanted to actually review this anyways, but this is a D9 wireless gaming controller here, and this is going to enable us the ability to actually just connect these over to the sides. This actually just kind of opens up like an accordion and compresses along the sides of the actual monitor. So I believe these are going to work. I can't guarantee anything because I wasn't able to find a compatibility list on this product, but we're going to give it a go. Now down here at the bottom, we have speakers built into the base. We have a thread right here in the middle, and I believe that's a 1/2-inch thread if I'm not mistaken. So that should go onto, like a little tripod or something like that, little holder. So that would be pretty cool if that does work like that. We have a Type-C port down here at the bottom as well. And then the back side looks like we just have ventilation on the back. I don't believe that those are speakers, but we'll double check. And it does seem to be a little smear on the back here. Let's see. All right, that does buff out. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at what else we have. We have, and I'm very familiar with how this works, but this right here is a transmitter. So this is what's going to go into the backside of our console, plugs in via HDMI, and there is a pair button that is labeled on here. There's another button which isn't labeled. I assume that's probably just the on button. And this is going to get plugged into the backside of whatever console we use, and it's going to transmit over to this right here. So this is the receiver. That's going to get plugged into the top of our monitor right here, just like so. So your audio and video is going to go from your console by way of this right over to this and come up right on your screen. So pretty straightforward there in terms of how this actually functions and works. Now let's open this up a little bit further. We do have our monitor manual right here. So maybe we'll outline in here. It outlines everything, how we connect things over, how we actually adjust settings here, and it does tell us exactly what these buttons are. So I'm going to outline that for you guys. So the first one here is our power button. Next one here is going to be our input source. So we can change from HDMI to the, I believe, Type-C connection at the bottom. Next one is going to be our brightness control. And then the last two are going to be our volume controls. So left one is going to be volume down, right one is going to be volume up. So that is a great way to externally adjust all of our settings right here. I like that we don't have to go into settings within the actual monitor. We can do all of that externally, so that's always convenient. Now we also have some cables in here as well. So we have our outlet cable right here, which I assume we would use with these two options. And I actually just noticed this as it's sitting here. This has a Type-C port on it as well. So this is our transmitter again. We are going to need to provide power to that. And I believe we can do so just like this. And then we can plug this right into the backside of our console, because we do have USB ports on the backside of pretty much all modern day consoles. Or if you connected this to a PC, you certainly would have access to those there as well. So right over here, we have a Type-C to Type-C, and that can plug directly in here. And we also have a USB-A port here as well. So we could, connect this over that way as well. But this is going to be for actually charging this device up itself. So yeah, it definitely seems like a solid setup so far. And we do have regular HDMI cable here as well. So both ends are regular. So if you wanted to use this, you could certainly use this to, do a wired connection here and not use this monitor wirelessly. But that's everything included. Just check in. Yep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set this up with my Xbox console. I already have an HDMI cable, so I won't have to use that today. I'm actually going to charge this up for a few minutes here just before we demo everything, so we know that we have a good charge. But we'll go ahead and set this up with my Xbox and test everything out. All right, so let me try to jump just so you guys can see here. Yeah, there's a really slight latency here. I don't feel like it's that significant, but we'll see as we start to play more. All right, guys, we jumped in here. We tested out this portable 8-inch wireless monitor, and it's made extremely well. It's not cheap plastic. It is all metal. It's very durable. I like the port options here. It doesn't go above and beyond with port options. It doesn't give us abundance of things to connect. It gives us a USB-A, USB-C, and it gives us an HDMI port. So it has exactly what we need, nothing more, nothing less. We also have the slots for Joy-Cons to easily get installed in here. I didn't have any Joy-Cons to test out today, but I did have this. The downside to this was that it wasn't a good experience with Xbox. It's not a knock on the monitor. It's more a knock on this. So for my specific needs and what I was using to connect over, it just didn't work for me. But it's, it is a good option for other, other things that you might bring into the mix here. Now, in terms of the buttons here, they probably should have some labeling. Yes, you can go on the go into the manual, figure out exactly what everything is, but you shouldn't have to do that. They could just put some labeling on the back here. It really wouldn't take much work at all to do that, and then always what everything is on here without having to do trial and error. I like the fact that the picture quality is good on here. I like the fact that we have the brightness control options as well. This is a 1280 by 720 resolution screen. We have 6 different brightness options here. I went to the brightest one for my filming today, which in person wasn't my favorite. If 6 is the brightest, I went to 4, so it was 2 down from the highest brightness on here. But for the sake of filming, what came through best on camera was the brightest one. So keep in mind, in person, the screen looks way better than it does on camera. I already, checked how it came through on camera. That's just a natural part of that process. You always lose some of the quality when filming a screen like this. But yeah, it does look very bright, very clear in person. Audio on here, it doesn't get terribly loud. You probably don't need it to get terribly loud because it's portable and you're always going to be fairly close to it. But I noticed that it maxed out at 40, which I thought was strange because any monitors usually max out at 100. Even if 100 is lower from device to device, it still goes up to 100. So I thought it was interesting that it was 40 because I felt like the volume would be like a typical 40 on something that did go up to 100. It definitely stays pretty low to the point where I had to bring in microphones and put them at the base of the tripod that I used for filming today. And I probably will have to go into my settings in editing and kick up the volume there just so you guys hear it a little bit better. So take that into consideration, I suppose. It is good quality audio, though. It doesn't have distortions or any issues whatsoever. There's no crackling, nothing of the sort. It's really clear, really nicely put together. It's just that it doesn't get terribly loud. I like the fact that we have the thread on the bottom. As I mentioned, I used my tripod today for filming. It made my life so much easier. I would love to see them bundle together or at least offer a kickstand or, something, even if it's just like a carrying case that has a kickstand on the back, because when you want to put this down, even if you had it, in a controller like this, it would be nice to have just a little kickstand that folds out on the back that you can lean this, up on a desk or something like that without having to just rest this, flat on its back. I think it's just going to hold up much better. It's going to get less scratches and less risk of being damaged if you have a kickstand that you can offer. Even if it's just like a freestanding kickstand that you just sit it down into, I think that would go a long way. What else? Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything on here. It doesn't get warm. It doesn't, overheat or anything like that. I will say that the battery didn't last terribly long. I was actively gaming on here for about 2 hours, and it went from fully charged down to almost nothing. It was down to that last light on here. Now, I was using everything on full volume, also the brightest setting. And I was playing pretty demanding games. So I think all of that does contribute to, the battery life not being preserved and lasting a long period of time. But 2 hours really isn't that impressive for a battery, on something like this. Now let's talk about the latency and the performance. I thought the performance was very good. Latency was apparent in Fortnite, and I knew that was going to be the ultimate test. And I will say this, I would never play Fortnite wirelessly. I would never try to transmit it, or I won't say I won't try to transmit it wirelessly, because I clearly did, and I have in the past too. But having had multiple experiences with wireless, transmitters and receivers like this right here, anytime I use Fortnite, I do experience latency. It's not always extreme, but it is varying degrees of it. So sometimes it's pretty on point, to the point where you can get through the experience quite well. And then sometimes you have times in your game where it is really laggy and it does kind of ruin the experience. So it's not a title I would recommend using on this particular setup here. But the other two titles I jumped into, I had no issues whatsoever. UFC 5 as well as NBA Jam On Fire Edition, which is a 360 game that I'm playing through my Xbox Series X because it's backwards compatible. So those were phenomenal, no lags, no delays. I dominated in both of those games, just a really great experience there. So I think at the end of the day, you have to determine what types of games you enjoy and would they translate over to a wireless experience or not. If they're super demanding, probably not. I will also say this, I'm an avid Fortnite player. I love playing Fortnite, but I have to immerse myself in that game. I need to play on a big screen. Even if it was, a wired connection here and there was zero latency, no issues whatsoever, I wouldn't play on an 8-inch monitor because you just can't see it well enough. Even when I was close to it, I was about 2 feet away when playing. I couldn't see what was going on in the background. I was constantly moving around so I didn't get shot because I just couldn't see my surroundings accurately. So games like that, games like Call of Duty, I would just never play on a small scale like this. So latency or not, it's just not going to be an ideal experience, in my opinion, for titles like that. So this is definitely worth it, depending on what you're going to game, depending on how you're going to game. Now, let's talk about the price point here. This is just 99 bucks for everything that you saw here today. Now, really cool thing though, which I wish I knew about, you can bundle this with controllers. You can actually bundle it with these D9 controllers right here that I actually got separately. And let me break down the price for you guys. It's 99 bucks for what you guys saw here today, the monitor, the cables that come with it, the transmitter and receiver, which I think is a phenomenal deal. I've seen a lot of transmitters and receivers, lesser quality than this, just for the transmitters go for like 300 bucks. So I think that the price point on here is phenomenal. Now, if you bundled it with the controllers, you can get these controllers for, and I'm going to look up the price right here on my phone. You can get these controllers with, or this controller right here, singular, this controller, with your portable monitor for 135 bucks. So $99 just for this, 135 for the monitor with this right here. Now, I bought this separately on Amazon. I paid $69.99 for this. So I paid more than double what, or in fact, double what it cost bundled together with the portable monitor. So if you're looking for a controller that will, hug up on this and give you that all-inclusive experience, get it bundled together. Don't buy it separate like me, because you will pay double the price, literally double the price for that, that portable controller that hugs, the outside of this. And it hugs it very nicely. It just didn't work for my experience today. It didn't work with the Xbox, the way I wanted it to. I had a much better experience just using this, totally freestanding from the actual monitor. So at the end of the day, I think it's totally worth the money here. For 99 bucks just for this, you can't expect it to be out of this world. You can't expect it to be 4K quality. You can't expect it to be, rivaling a $600 monitor. It's just not it's just not going to happen. But for what you get here, what the experience is like, and what the performance is like, I definitely think that it lines up perfectly. So let me know what you guys think, though. In the end, would you use something like this? Do you think it's worth the money? I think 99 bucks is definitely worth it, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video. That's going to do it for today, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.